SEAG. PH bows out in semis of tennis team event, claims bronze. The Philippine men's and women's tennis teams both failed to make it to the gold medal match in the team event of the 33rd Southeast Asian Games tennis tournament after falling against separate foes at the National Tennis Development Center in Nonthaburi on Friday. The men's team competed well against Indonesia, but ultimately fell in a narrow 1-2 loss to their foes. Iggy Pantino was the lone victor for Team Philippines on Friday when he opened the men's team tie with the hard-fought 6-2. 3-6, 6-4 win over Justin Barkey in the first men's singles match. Pantino needed to buck a second-set loss and drew strength from the crowd, which also featured women's team's Alex Ila, who had just wrapped up training to cheer on her teammates. Ila is participating in the individual events of SEA Games. I think I just stayed tough, and I thought about my teammates. I thought about, par sa Bayantalaga. So, I played with all my heart, said Pantino about his win. Things went south, though, when Alberto Lim Jr. fell in a lopsided match against Mohamed Fitriati, 6-3, 6-0. While things became interesting thanks to the doubles play of Nino Alcantara and Ruben Gonzalez, they ultimately bowed in a grueling three-setter against the duo of Lucky Kurniawan and Christopher Runcat in the men's doubles, 6-1, 6-2, 7, 6-4. Over on the women's end, the Philippines were unable to score a win in their team tie against Thailand, going 0-3 at center court. Tiniel Mighties fell at the hands of Maninkaya Sawanki, 2-6, 0-6 in the opener. SEA Games veteran Shera Rivera lost to Lanlanatera Rudi, 2-6, 2-6, while Steffi Aludo and Mighties managed a fight before ultimately falling against Patrin Chipchandij and Pintarin Plipuek. Both the men's and women's squads finished the SEA Games team event with bronze. Individual events begin on Saturday, December 13th, at the same venue. The sun dipped low over the tennis courts, casting long shadows that stretched like quiet witnesses to history in the making. With every echo of a bouncing ball and the squeak of shoes against the hard court, the Philippine tennis team fought not just their opponents, but the weight of expectations, pride, and the enduring dream of excellence. At the Southeast Asian Games, SEAG, their journey would end just short of the finals, but not without honor. The Philippines bowed out in the semifinals of the tennis team event, emerging with a hard-earned bronze medal that told a story far greater than the scoreline. From the opening serve of the tournament, the Philippine squad carried with them a quiet determination. They arrived not as overwhelming favorites, but as competitors shaped by discipline, long hours of training, and shared belief that they could stand toe-to-toe with the region's best. Each match was a test of nerve and resilience, a chess game played at blistering speed, where a single unforced error could tilt momentum and decide fate. The road to the semifinals was paved with grit. Early rounds saw the Filipinos battling seasoned rivals from neighboring countries, teams with deeper benches, more international exposure, and longer traditions of dominance in the sport. Yet the Filipinos refused to be overawed. They fought point by point, often stretching matches into grueling rallies that showcased not only athleticism but mental toughness. In these moments, the team revealed its character: calm under pressure, united in adversity, and fearless in belief. By the time the semifinals arrived, the atmosphere had grown heavier. The crowd buzzed with anticipation, aware that the match would determine who would advance to the gold medal round. Across the net stood a formidable opponent, sharp, confident, and ruthless in execution. The Philippine team knew the challenge before them. Every serve needed precision, every return demanded courage. The semifinal clash unfolded like a drama written in sweat and resolve. The Filipinos struck first, matching their rivals' pace and power. Baseline rallies stretched endlessly, punctuated by explosive winners and heartbreaking near misses. At times, momentum swung in favor of the Philippines, igniting hope that a historic finals appearance was within reach. Teammates on the sidelines cheered loudly, their voices carrying encouragement and belief. But tennis, unforgiving and exacting, often rewards consistency more than courage alone. As the match wore on, the opposing team found their rhythm. Their serves grew heavier, their returns sharper. Small errors, barely noticeable, began to creep into the Philippine game. A netted forehand here, a long backhand there. The difference between victory and defeat narrowed to inches, to moments of hesitation that would haunt any competitor. In the end, the Philippines fell short. The final point landed just beyond reach, sealing their exit from the semifinals. There was no dramatic collapse, no shame in defeat. Only the quiet stillness that follows a hard-fought loss. Players stood at the baseline, hands on hips, chests rising and falling as reality settled in. Their dream of gold had ended, but their journey was far from a failure. Claiming the bronze medal was not a consolation, it was a statement. In a region where tennis powerhouses often dominate the podium, the Philippines had proven that it belonged. The bronze shimmered with meaning. It represented years of sacrifice, early morning practices, limited resources, and an unyielding love for the sport. It was a reward earned through perseverance rather than privilege. Beyond the medal itself, the achievement resonated deeply with the athletes. For some, it was their first taste of international podium success. For others, it was validation that their efforts, often unseen and uncelebrated, had mattered. The bronze symbolized progress, a step forward in a long-term vision to elevate Philippine tennis on the regional and global stage. Coaches and officials praised the team's performance, emphasizing growth over results. They spoke of lessons learned in the semifinals, the need for sharper execution under pressure, stronger depth in doubles play, and continued exposure to high-level competition. More importantly, they highlighted the unity of the squad, noting how the players supported one another through victories and defeats alike. For Filipino fans, the bronze medal carried its own significance. In a sporting landscape often dominated by a few disciplines, tennis rarely takes center stage. Yet this achievement reminded the nation that talent exists across many sports, waiting for opportunities, support, and belief. The team's performance inspired young players watching from home, rackets in hand, dreaming of one day wearing the national colors. As the SEAG tennis courts emptied and the noise faded, the Philippine team left with heads held high. They did not leave as semifinal losers, but as bronze medalists, athletes who had stood their ground, fought with heart, and represented their country with pride. Their story at the Games was not about what they failed to achieve, but about what they proved was possible.